Hello Internet, Jojo here, and today we are talking about the Energy Steroid from Fishman Island. And while they do seem to act as a plot device, I promise that these pills are actually very interesting and, kind of insanely powerful, as we will go over in a few seconds. The power pills increase the strength of whoever consumes them by a vast amount, but in this case we are talking about their effect on fishmen exclusively. So this power is what we're going to spend the next few minutes going over. Simple and to the point. So, let's go over what we know about fishmen. We are told explicitly that fishmen are 10 times stronger than a normal human. Now, we previously calculated the strength of your average fishman by comparing them to the Skypian women and children who all tank the knock-up stream. However, we're not going to do that here, because it's probably best to keep feeds as clean and separate as possible, and you'll see, but these numbers get absurdly high. First things first, what is the Energy Steroid? To be honest, before I started researching for this video, I, for one, was completely unaware of the fact that we are given a lot of information about it. I thought it was one of those things where it gives an ambiguous strength increase, but that's not the case. The steroid is stated to double the fishman's current strength. This means that after one pill, the fishman's strength doubles. After 2 pills, he is 4 times stronger. After 3 pills, he is 8 times stronger. After 4 pills, he is 16 times stronger, and so on. So, the average fishman can survive without issue 10,000 meters under the sea. This means that they can take a pressure of 14,559 psi. We know that the steroid increases every physical aspect of the individual who eats the pill, as we've seen fishmen demonstrate vastly increased speed, durability, and power after consuming one. The pill also seems to grant a somewhat decent healing factor, as Hody ate them a lot to recover from Zoro cutting him. This means that when an average fishman who can take 14,000 psi eats one pill, their durability increases to 29,118 psi. If they eat another pill, their durability doubles to 58,236 psi, then to 116,472. Then if they eat another one, it will double again to 232,944 psi. By the time the individual eats 10 pills, their strength would have increased by about 1,024 times. If this hypothetical fishman that we're talking about ate this many pills, they would be able to take 14,900,000 psi, 1 million atmospheres, or survive 10 million meters underwater. This fishman would literally walk through bullets like Superman does, as they would casually be able to take pressure greater than that of a bullet. However, while a normal fishman eating these pills would be a very interesting thing to talk about, the only fishman we have seen eat more than one pill is Hody Jones. Hody Jones is explicitly shown eating a minimum of 15 pills in these several panels. But there is more to it than that. You see, we are also told that Hody has eaten a ton of pills when he's trying to recover from Zoro cutting him, and is later shown eating an unknown amount of pills by the handful. Assuming that in this panel he's eating the same number of pills that he's dropping, we find that he must have consumed a minimum of 15 pills. This means that the version of Hody Jones that Luffy wrecked was about 32,768 times stronger than Hody's base form. This also means that Luffy must have been striking with a minimum of 477 million psi, or 238,000 tons per square inch. Taking the area of Luffy's fist, he must have been able to punch with at least 1 million tons of force. This is like having 3.2 Empire State Buildings dropped on top of you, and this is just assuming that Luffy could match what Hody could take, when we know that he would have to be a lot stronger. This obviously begs the question, how strong is Hody Jones in his base? Well, he's definitely not comparable to Zoro, but he should be vastly superior to the fake Straw Hats who got struck with lightning and on par with Arlong, stronger than Hachan, and it's probably as strong as King Neptune. Now, it's that last one that we'll focus on today. We can scale base Hody to Neptune, as after he ate the steroid, he was able to overpower him with one hand, so it would make sense that he was on par with him or stronger than him before that. This also makes his calculation much easier to work with. So, both Hody and Neptune are much stronger than your average doped up fishman, and we know that Neptune was capable of hitting a whole group of them with his aquamarine attack. Because we know that on average, fishmen are 10 times stronger than your average human, we can take the average human reaction time of 0.25 seconds and lower it by 10 times to 0.025 seconds. Due to these being doped up Fishman, we can lower it again by 2 times as well, achieving a reaction time of 0.0125 seconds. Neptune himself is capable of throwing his aquamarine too fast for this Fishman to react, or at least too fast for him to start moving out of the way. So, comparing the water blast to Neptune, we find this was being thrown about 78 meters. For the attack to cover this distance in 0.0125 seconds, it would have to be moving at about 6,273 meters per second, or Mach 18. Doing some more fancy calculations, we find that this aquamarine has a water mass of 49 million kilograms. For an object that weighs just under 50 million kilograms, moving at Mach 18 would produce an energy of about 232 kilotons of TNT. Now, Hody appears to be naturally about twice as strong as a normal Fishman, as they seem to be in disbelief that he wasn't drugged up when he crushed this wall. This means that he should be able to take a minimum of 464 kilotons of TNT in his base form. And Zoro absolutely wrecked him in a single shot, as we already stated. As we already stated, Hody has eaten a minimum of 15 of these pills, and because these pills stack exponentially, he would be about 32,000 times stronger than his base, or, stick with me, capable of generating about 15.2 gigatons of TNT. This is obviously a low calculation, as we did not account for the fact that he is literally described as eating tons of pills. We are only counting the pills that he dropped, and the fact that he is shown eating handfuls of them in the anime. Accounting for any one of these events, and his power could increase by thousands of times. If we say that he ate 30 pills, still low estimate based on what we've been over, he would be a billion times stronger than his base, and would increase his power to a massive 498 Teratons of TNT. Now, this is typically what I'm good with, because this level of power definitely confirms many of the feats that we talked about before, like Shiki casually moving this island, the power of this explosion from film Z, and Zoro getting hit by ores. However, if we assume that he ate a few more pills, say 40, and he would be about twice the strength of ores, and about half the strength of Luffy's sky splitting, sitting at a power of about 510 Pettons of TNT. For the record, guys, trust me, you don't want to know his level of power after eating something like 60 pills. Or do you want to know? I'm gonna tell you anyway. If Hody ate 60 pills, he would be 1.15 quintillion times stronger than his base. For the sake of argument, let's use some numbers from real life humans. A typical human can punch with about 400 joules of energy. And as Fishmen are 10 times stronger and Hody is about twice the strength of the average Fishman, his base should be able to punch with about 800 joules of power. Multiplying that by 1.15 quintillion, and Hody should be punching with about 2.2 teratons of TNT. Now, this would be less when Luffy threw the ball at Enel, but this is also considerably lowballing it. On the other hand, if we use the 464 kilotons of TNT as his base, and this comes out to be a completely unacceptable, absolutely unusable 534 Zetatons of TNT. I don't believe for a second that he is this strong, but it goes to show the insanity of these pills and where they can lead. Now, as weird as it sounds to have Hody in the mid Teratons to low to mid Pettons, this is relatively consistent, as Hody himself believed that he was who would eventually destroy Fishman Island. And while it did get retconned, this island is intended to be incredibly massive. When chapter 631 was originally released, we are given the exact distance between Ganokor Plaza and the coast. This panel says that they are 150 kilometers apart, and would make the entirety of Fishman Island about 419 kilometers wide. This is massive and makes way more sense than trying to fit 5 million people in an area leagues smaller than Rhode Island. Of course, this number did get retconned, so we can't use it. But this goes to show where Oda's mind was when he was working on this arc and when he made the prophecy about the destruction of Fishman Island. Oda fully intended for Fishman Island to be this large, as he rarely gives numbers out, and when he does, they're important. But he had retconned this as the island itself is only 10 kilometers underwater, and this would mean that the island is out of the water. So there you go, the power of Hody Jones and the power of the Power Steroid. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. remember to stay spectacular. Jojo, out.
Drink up me, Hody Jones.